resemble is a relay race. It is a sport that relies as much on the individual's achievement as it does on teamwork and cooperative effort. The true test of that competition is in the passing of the baton. So too with politics. Mr. Speaker, President Jerry John Rawlings started the structural transformation of this economy under the Economic Recovery Program. This program restored Ghana to a path of growth, which he handed over to President John Agyekum Kufuor. President Kufuor continued the Economic Adjustment Program and under HIPIC initiative achieved significant debt reduction, implementing new social intervention programs such as NHIS and the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Program. He passed these on to President Professor John Evans Atta Mills. President Mills commenced the Eastern Corridor Road Project, the University of Ghana Medical Center, which I inaugurated yesterday, the Kotokraba Market, the Cape Coast Stadium, and a host of others which I inherited and completed. Mr. Speaker, my administration commenced the construction of new community-day senior high schools, a policy of progressively free secondary education, construction of the Eastern University, investment in many infrastructure projects that are ongoing, and many others that will actually commence under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, I am assured by his firm statement that he will continue these projects as enjoined by our Constitution of 1992. Mr. Speaker, I wish him all the success in this regard. And as I've said many times already, regardless of whose tenure in which these visions come to fruition, its success belongs to Ghana. They belong to all of us. Mr. Speaker, political opposition and differences of opinion are vital to the health and growth of any democracy. Political parties are formed when people of similar ideology come together to move their agenda forward in a way that best serves their country's interests. But the well-being of the nation and the will of the people must always come first. Partisanship for its own sake in the end is no better than dictatorship. If we look around the world, we can so clearly see the deep divide that blind partisanship is creating in nations with democracies that are even far older than ours. We can see too the divide that it is threatening to create in ours if we are not careful. Already it's taking a toll on our morale and our sense of optimism. It has given way to a cynicism that is as dangerous to the incoming political party as it is to the outgoing. We cannot afford as a nation to wish or hope for the failure of any president and his or her government. Ensuring accountability is not the same as leveling insults or encouraging apathy. We have history as proof that we have been better and that we have done better, and that we must do better once again. Mr. Speaker, I first entered this House as MP for Bole Bamboy in January 1997. It was perhaps not coincidental that the same year, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo entered as MP for Achema Boakwa. Taking breaks from the business of the House, to grab something to eat at a snack bar, Nana Addo always stood at the end of the counter, his signature white handkerchief tucked into his sleeve. Johnny, he would shout in greeting as he preferred to call me. Incidentally, we both served 3 terms in this House, departing together in January 2009. This is how long I've known the President-elect, or we have known each other and worked together. I have the utmost respect for him, given our history, especially that we have each had our turn at each side of a presidential election. it would seem only natural for us to be considered opponents. Worthy opponents is the description generally used in the world of sports. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we are all on the same team as Ghanaians. We worked together when I served as ranking member on the Committee of Foreign Affairs at the time that Nana Addo was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. One of the issues on which we crossed swords was the murder of some Ghanaian youth in the Gambia. It is instructive that as I leave office and as he takes my place, Gambia once again is a nation that is engaging international attention. Mr. Speaker, it is my assertion that the information I've provided is a snapshot of the
Constitution. If it comes to the Constitution, we are in a position to tell it. What the Electoral Commission is doing is in accordance with the Constitution. There's nothing wrong about it at all. To the Constitution. If it comes to the Constitution, we are in a position to tell it. What the Electoral Commission is doing is in accordance with the Constitution. There's nothing wrong about it at all.
Yetisikaso is welcome there. Yetisikaso is welcome there. Onyakupo mame kwana meba. Ye bani ama the sesa. Sande me yina. Ema sikano. Must ask. Sikano ewahi. Sikano ewahi. Sikano ewahi. State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money. Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public, and measures will be put in place to ensure this. We must create wealth and restore happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global economy. We must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We believe that the business of government is to govern. Ours is to set fair rules. We will provide vision and direction and shine the light down the path of our entrepreneurs and farmers. State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money. Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public, and measures will be put in place to ensure this. We must create wealth and restore happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global economy. We must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We believe that the business of government is to govern. Ours is to set fair rules. We will provide vision and direction and shine the light down the path of our entrepreneurs and farmers. state coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election. If the president would only look a little closer behind the veneer that closets him, just a little, behind his immediate circle of family and friends, he will see and feel the agony of Ghanaians. If he looked a little closer, even at the rank and file of his own party, he would recognize that this is indeed an economy in crisis. Yes, there are a few people who have prospered under this government, largely members of the president's family and his inner circle. The Ghana of the past 4 years is certainly nothing like the Ghana that the current population of Ghanaians aspire to.
I've said it and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government.
I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion cedis, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion cedis today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the president would agree with me that without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportions. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered. The 28 billion is even without the latest Chinese debt. Thank you. I think that the most effective way that we can have a debt portfolio for our country that is sustainable is to make sure that the NDC loses this election in December. Kicking out the NDC will be the surest way we can to protect the debt structure of our country. Why do I say that? In the 4 years in which they have been in power, they have more than tripled our national debt from 9 billion cedis, which was at the end of Kufuor's period, to 28 billion cedis today. In the 4 years of the NDC administration, they have contracted more debt than all the governments of our country, from Kwame Nkrumah right down to John Agyekum Kufuor. That is the nature of the situation confronting our country. And I dare say the President would agree with me that without the rebasing of the economy, the debt profile of our country today will be getting towards epic proportions. So we need, when we're talking about the debt profile of our country, to bear in mind two things. One, the areas into which the debt goes. And I agree with some of my previous speakers that the productive investment and the rate of return on them is a critical one. Equally critical is the value for money of the transactions that the debt brings about. We need to look at that. I've given some examples of public procurements that are taking place in our country on an extremely inflated rate. Once again, we need to look at this. You're talking about loans that are given, and inside the loans, the arrangements for determining value for money remain very opaque and unclear. How can you persuade the Ghanaian people that debts are being contracted in these circumstances that are there to push forward their future? We intend to be extremely disciplined about the contraction of debt. We're first of all going to respect the teachings of the national budget and treat it as precious. We will not be stepping outside the constraints of the budget. We are going to make sure that we reduce considerably areas of corruption in the construction and execution of some of these projects. These are the critical matters that our people are looking for leadership on. That we are not going to get ourselves in airline and other aircraft and other transactions that leave so many questions to be answered. The 28 billion is even without the latest Chinese debt.
Thank you so much.
Around saying that our manifesto promises are going to ruin the economy. I'm just so baffled. You, a president, you have presided in 8 years over the collapse of our economy. If you knew the plan that could work for the economy and be successful, why haven't you implemented that plan in 8 years? Why? If you know what can work for our economy, why is the economy collapsing in your hands after 8 years? You clearly do not understand the economic plans and underpinning the MPP manifesto. So your task is to make our economy work. You cannot do it, and now you want to say the MPP plan cannot work. You have essentially no legs to stand on in saying the MPP plan cannot work, because your own plan has collapsed the economy, and we are bringing a new plan for the economy, and a new plan that will work. It will work. We reduced taxes during our tenure of office. Corporate taxes were brought down from 32% to 25%, and at the same time we saw a major increase in tax revenue.
How can government be seeking to contract this magnitude of non-concessional loans at this time when it does not have enough cash to meet statutory payments? This is like an alcoholic who has just been convinced to enter rehab, and just a few days before rehab asks for a carton of whiskey. Can this person be trusted to keep or to stay with the rehab program? Undertaking this additional borrow would mean that the anchor is not likely to hold, and it would compromise the objective of fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability. Given Ghana's economic situation, this bailout program will require a commitment to fiscal discipline that will test the resolve of any government in any developing country, such as ours. And it is important that the government understands what it has signed up for. We should all be prepared for some painful adjustments. To give legal...
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Wednesday, the 23rd day of August 2023. By His grace, we're live and we're here with yet another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Digital audio transmission here. Technology trial takes off. Tamale International Airport opens. Republic Bank Africa sets up hub in Accra. Ghana saves $1.5 billion from GMPC Gensa deal. Parliamentary Select Committee. Ghanaian Times. Domestic debt exchange program. Government pays 2.4 billion cedis to bondholders. Finance Ministry. VP inaugurates $70 million Tamale International Airport to serve as nerve center for air travel from the north, the Sahel to Europe and beyond. NPP presidential primaries. Kwabena Japan shares vision with delegates. Ends campaign tour in Kumasi. NCA launches digital audio broadcasting. DAB trials in Accra and Kumasi. PURC adjusts utility tariffs effective September 1. Daily Guide. Cecilia Dapa stolen cash case. Third suspect granted bail. We saved the economy from collapse. Bank of Ghana. Baomia opens $70 million Tamale Airport Phase 2. Compensate Africa, Nana tells West. 2.4 billion Ghana cedis released to settle DDEP first coupon. The new crusading guide. NPP superdelegates election. Nana Nkansa Boadu must not vote. Otumfo NPP petitioned. I'll make NPP financial independent. Efri Akoto. Campaigner online CEO attacked, car stolen. Mencom debunks claims of signing lithium deal. Western North region, small-scale miners angry over frequent police harassment. Bank of Ghana sets record straight. We save the economy from collapsing. Intensify slave trade reparation. Akufo-Addo to AHRM. The insight. Water electricity costs shoot up again as PURC announces tariff increase from September 1. Join breaks for Ghana's economic growth and stop unbridled borrowing. CPP presidential aspirant tells President Akufo-Addo. NPP delegates poll. NPP Asante in a petition to stop Nana Boadu from voting in party election. Kwabenya land disputes not resolved, says Neo Die in tow family. The Herald. Kennedy Japan's presidential ambition suffers opposition from his workers. Cite poor conditions of service, low salaries, bad temper, and neglect. Audo Messina High School launches 60th anniversary tomorrow. Chieftaincy crisis erupts at a Kwapim traditional area. A second Kwapim emerges, friends and family divided. Osafo Mafu finds Christ years after his $1 million scandal. The Ghanaian publisher. Awoya lithium project, no contract awarded yet. Minerals Commission. Ejakwon Y is running to be president. I'll make NPP financially independent. Efri Akoto. Why ECOWAS must support Niger junta, Nana Champion rights. Bank of Ghana debts were accumulated losses since 1992. Addison. Chief of Staff eligible to vote. NPP. The Daily Statesman. Bawumia opens Tamale International Airport Phase 2 project. Akufo-Addo leaves for BRICS Summit in South Africa. NC unveils digital audio broadcasting for radio stations. PURC to implement new water and electricity tariff September 1. Inspired Allswell Foundation empowers women. The Informer. 60.81 billion losses. Bank of Ghana blames haircut. Minority threatens demo. Ablakwa cries over joblessness. Fingers ECOWAS for coups. UCS Facility Management honored at 2023 National Business Honors. Towards good of Ghana, shared unnecessary partisanship. Duncan Williams advises. Specialized courses in aviation soon. Minister discloses. The Metro Lens. JA Plant Pool's bold move. Jeto brands set to dominate market. Court exonerates former Boem MP, chief over embezzlement. Vice President Bawumia commissions Tamale International Airport Phase 2 project. Pentecost University launches 5 engineering programs. Well done. Kwalebu CEO and associates slapped with 5,000 cedis for disrespecting court orders. The Custodian. Government issues 2.4 billion cedis for DDEP coupon payment. Awoya lithium project not approved. Bawumia opens $70 million Tamale Airport Phase 2. Akufo-Addo attends BRICS Summit in South Africa. I'll make NPP financially strong. Efri Akoto. Daily Post. Ghana Gas Senior Staff Association rejects Mines and Energy Committee report on GMPC Gensa deal. Minority to stage demo against Bank of Ghana Governor on September 5. Tell Ghanaians the actual cost of your insensitive new head office. Ablakwa to Bank of Ghana Governor. Water, electricity tariffs to go up again on September 1, 2023. PURC. Business and Financial Times. Bawumia inaugurates Tamale International Airport. Tourism sector to ultimate revenue collection. Government bolsters investor confidence with coupon payment. Miracle Duka launches pilot training for small-scale miners. Vibrant trade within Africa hinges on stability. Ramaphosa. Utility tariffs up for 3rd consecutive quarter. NCA launches DAB trial in Accra and Kumasi. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
"20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the healer.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in Sran.
the pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night, that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited, up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Wachi Hospital Junction. Sakradi. Number 9 Market.
Go and tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply. The same got to move.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with our prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have Kwesi Pratt Jr., who is the managing editor of the Insight newspaper. Also with me on the show this morning is a member of parliament of the Efija Kwabre North constituency, the Honorable Collins Adumako Mensah. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Right. So why don't you secure your future with the Accra Business School? Boost your career with a prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communications and International Marketing, International Relations, Public Affairs or IT Management. In just 12 months, the MBA can be yours. Dive into the BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry payment and learning options convenient to you. It's time to unlock your potential and take position. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or call the Accra Business School on 0263 888 555 or 0263 888 666 or visit the Accra Business School campus at Spintex Road, Christ Square. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today. And no need fretting about the enjoyment of the fruits of your labor. Because as humans, aging and physical infirmity stand our way of enjoying some of these fruits, especially when we have those stories and high-rise building and have to do the stairway day in, day out. You need not worry anymore, because with portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, that's PVEs, you're sure of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a simple-to-use, self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods, our homes and our offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility to choose from. You may call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home or office. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days with modification to your building. Visit Lifts and Elevators Ghana at Sakumana for your solutions and free consultations. You can also reach Lifts and Elevators on 0200-535-515 or email them at elevatorsgh@gmail.com. And what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember who's got the mullah has got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website www.gamesparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under the age of 18. Play responsibly. So, Kwesi?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, I found the front page of your paper quite interesting. Something we were discussing last week, but it's still on the front burner, and has to do with the situation in Niger. And the ECOWAS security chiefs met here in Accra, I think from Wednesday. And listening to them, it appears that they are hell bent on going ahead with the military intervention. There's been many developments subsequently. I mean, even before they finished, the Presby Church, some other groups had said that no way, we should not get involved in that. The socialist movement of Ghana, that's why I refer to the front page of your paper. The Trades Union Congress also said same. There's been some developments on the international front. There's some news that suggests that France had asked Algeria for permission to use their airspace, and Algeria declined same. There's some other news item that denies, says that France say they never requested for any such permission from Algeria. We're also picking up news about the Wagner forces, and there's an which suggests that they say that, look, they are launching a new operation in Africa. People believe that it has to do with Niger. They've been linked with some moves to Niger. In fact, there's some news portals that claim that the first set of Wagner forces have entered Niger already. We also know about the position of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea as far as this crisis is concerned. We've also been told about an interesting position of Togo, which is part of the Francophonie, but the fact that it appears that they are not in support of this particular intervention. I've heard of some incredible amount of money being put on the table as a budget for that operation, in excess of $2 billion. I don't know what you make of what was happening.
Well, the situation in Niger is becoming increasingly interesting. And at every turn, West African leaders, heads of states, are showing up as persons who did not soberly reflect on the situation. And their recklessness now is obvious to everybody, you know. Now, let's start first of all from the budget. France which is likely to become the ultimate beneficiary of a war in Niger, offered a paltry $25 million to West African states to go and wage war in Niger. And when I heard the figure, I was actually so very angry. I mean, what does France take African states for? 25 million. Go and kill other Africans, for our soldiers to go and die and so on, so that France can continue to power its electric bulbs, its industries, and so on. 25 million. So annoying. I mean, I insist that even one African life, the life of one Ghanaian soldier, is worth more than 25 million. And France should stop insulting us. They've insulted us enough in the past. They should stop insulting us. That's about just the budget, you understand? Now, I think that those who seek equity, the maxim says, ought to demonstrate themselves that they uphold certain values and so on. Here are West African leaders, not all of them, some of them, a few West African leaders wanting to go to war to install democracy in Niger. And every move they have made is one, undemocratic and a violation of law. Every move they have made. One, clearly, under international law, you cannot wage war on another country, invade another country, without the express approval of the UN Security Council. What these ECOWAS leaders are doing doesn't have the express approval of the UN Security Council, and therefore it's illegal. Now, how does a bunch of lawless leaders install democracy in another country? That's a problem. Now, if you look at the constitutions of all the West African countries, it is clear that they cannot declare war without the express approval of their parliaments. Now, here you have President Tinubu of Nigeria, who actually took the steps to get parliamentary approval for this invasion of Niger. His parliament told him that they would not approve such move. Why is he still continuing on this reckless path? Clear lawlessness. No commitment to upholding the Nigerian constitution, and yet he wants the Nigerians to uphold their constitution. That's a huge problem, you understand? Now, if you take President Tinubu again, it's important to recognize that even apart from the fact that his own parliament says no to war, governors of his states bordering Niger have told him that they will not allow their territories to be used for this reckless attack on Niger. It doesn't send any signal to him. People from his own political party have told him that this is a reckless act that should not be encouraged. He's still pursuing that line. Then you take a president like Macky Sall of Senegal. Go and see what is happening in Senegal. Senegal is in total chaos. As a matter of fact, when he was planning to go to Abuja to take part in this decision, a majority of the opposition leaders in Senegal had been locked up. Police were still shooting into crowds. They were shooting rubber bullets, shooting tear gas and so on into crowds. Now this president looks the world in the face and says, I'm going to restore democracy in another country. What about his own country? I mean, just yesterday I saw videos of some of the developments in Senegal. I said, this man, if there's anybody who has to be punished for trampling on his country's constitution and disrespecting the fundamental rights of his people, it is Macky Sall. He's also rushing to go and install democracy in Niger. I would just wonder. Then you find my own good friend, Alassane Ouattara of La Côte d'Ivoire, a direct beneficiary of a coup d'etat. Alassane Ouattara was installed by the French army. It is the French army who stormed Gbagbo's parliament, removed him from office, and installed Alassane Ouattara, a beneficiary of a coup d'etat. Look at how he's behaving. And it doesn't end there. Alassane Ouattara actually amended his country's constitution, gave himself a third term. And the worst part of it, these leaders who today are in a hurry to go and install democracy in Niger went to congratulate him for doing a very good job. Our president was one of those heads of states who went to Abidjan to congratulate Alassane Ouattara for changing the term limits in his constitution and installing himself as president.
He congratulated him for winning the election.
Randy!
That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, you are also going to say Hey, my friend.
The congratulation was for winning the election.
Not for the processes that enabled him to win the election.
So without the processes, he could still have won the election. That's my friend. Our president, he actually wore his suit and tie, flew in one of those jets, went to Abidjan and congratulated Alassane Ouattara for doing a good job. Incredible. What is happening is incredible. But you see, I've looked at the meeting in Abuja, which reaffirmed the commitment of ECOWAS to wage war. You know, ECOWAS was made up of 16 countries. Yesterday I was being told that it's now made up of 15 countries. Out of that number, only 8 countries attended the meeting in Abuja. 8 countries attended the meeting in Abuja. Now, out of the 8 countries which attended the meeting in Abuja, one of those countries was represented by its ambassador in Abuja. This is the body which took the decision to plunge West Africa into war. What is the legitimacy of that decision, anyway? I mean, incredible. Now, we are seeing the consequences, you know.
Oh, this is what you're talking
about. Randy, we are seeing the consequences of just the threat to wage war on Niger. Have you seen how onion prices are rising in Ghana? Onion prices have shot through the roof. You understand? Onion sellers are complaining. Onion consumers are complaining. The whole economy of West Africa is in crisis. I saw videos of trucks, you know, which normally take goods into Niger and bring food out of Niger. Stuck at the border. They can't move. There's no movement. You understand? Benin is heavily reliant on trade with Niger. Benin is in crisis. Our economy is collapsing in West Africa as a result of the recklessness of our leaders who are not considering all the different facets of the developments in, you know, Niger. The other thing which I think is important is just the outpouring of condemnations of West African leaders. So far, no mass democratic organization in West Africa has supported the recklessness of our leaders. The trade unions across West Africa have said no to this reckless declaration of war. Youth and students movements are pouring out. Women's organizations are pouring out in condemnation of our leaders for their recklessness. Now, what is interesting is that even the faith-based organizations are saying no to war. I mean, 2 days ago, I read the statement which came from the Chief Imam of Ghana. Clear statement, very sensible, well thought out statement. The Presbyterian Church of Ghana has clearly said no to war. You understand? Catholic bishops across the sub-region are saying no to war. And our leaders are still persisting in issuing this very lame threat. Alassane Ouattara, who is making so much noise, you know, about leading the charge and so on. How many soldiers did he offer? 1,000 soldiers. I mean, look, he thinks that invading Niger is a walk in the park. Look at the size of Niger. And I've been following these developments very closely. I see the state of preparedness of Niger. I don't know if any of you have seen the entry into Niamey of Burkinabe and Malian fighters. I mean, that's a spectacle. Hundreds of thousands of people pouring out into the streets to welcome Burkinabe and Malian soldiers coming to defend the capital. You see all of this, and then you make up your mind to send 1,000 soldiers. He thinks it's a secondary school route they are going to quell. Alassane Ouattara thinks that some secondary school in La Côte d'Ivoire is on route, so he's sending 1,000 soldiers to go and quell it. He's joking. Completely joking. Now, Randy, the other aspect is the broad international community. 2 or 3 days ago, the African Union made it clear that it will not support war in Niger. Clear that it will not support war in Niger. Okay? So, half of ECOWAS is on its own. Now, look at ECOWAS itself. There is no doubt that any war in Niger will lead to the total demise of ECOWAS. There's already, there are 4 or 5 countries which have said that they will not be part of this recklessness. There are 3 countries which are ready to fight ECOWAS troops if they should enter Niger. If that should happen, what will be the status of ECOWAS? ECOWAS will be dead. So we are going to kill ECOWAS completely. Now, the argument that they are going to restore democracy in Niger is a funny one. What was happening in Niger? Was it democratic? What was happening in Niger? That president who was elected about a year ago, what is democratic about him? What kind of governance was he offering the people of Niger? In any case, who told these leaders in West Africa that any of them can decide the path of development any of the other countries should take?
Was it? I guess that for most of these leaders, they see wrong when a non-civilian does some of these things. If soldiers or non-civilians engage in these things, we have absolutely no problems. If a civilian uses security to do things that are undemocratic, or a civilian uses undemocratic means to entrench or extend his stay in office, they only have a problem if the same act is perpetrated by a non-civilian.
But that's an insult to our soldiers. That's discriminatory. That's an insult to our soldiers.
Well, I'm saying that because I think that on this program,
yes,
you have stated sufficient facts to demonstrate that many of these leaders have engaged in undemocratic things in order to either come into office or continue to stay in office. Yet, it has not attracted condemnation, not even a peer review.
Yeah.
Not even that. Not even a statement, even to condemn.
Yeah, you're right. But there's another dimension to all of this. And that dimension purely is about the neo-colonial stranglehold of France on French-speaking countries in West Africa. It's a very important dimension of this. You know that Niger is Niger has a lot of uranium.
Yes.
And France is heavily dependent on uranium for the generation of its electricity and other things and so on. Now, if you take Niger's uranium, France was paying Niger a royalty of 5%. 5%. Now, the Nigerians were so angry that they started demanding 12.5%. Now, the French company which deals in uranium in Niger has 2 subsidiaries. The French company, I think, is called Areva. It has 2 subsidiaries. One subsidiary mines the uranium and sells to the other subsidiary in France, Areva, France. So the French resisted increasing the royalty from 5% to 12.5% for years. Eventually, they saw that the people of Niger were really determined because there was mass mobilization in support of this demand of the Nigerian people. So France said, we have agreed. We'll pay you royalty of 12.5%. Do you know that after this agreement, the royalty they were paying in terms of its quantum was far less than the 5% they were paying before? How come? Very simple. Smart accounting. They substantially reduced the prices of uranium sales from Niger to France. And by that reduction, now they were paying royalty, supposedly 12.5%, but less than the 5% that they were receiving earlier.
Knowing very well that they were selling to another subsidiary of their own.
Of their own.
Okay.
You understand? So if you treat any people this way, they will rebel. If you steal the resources of a country to this level, the people will rise up. It is amazing how we have tolerated France and its domination and exploitation of West Africa over all of this period. The other dimension is that, you know that the French-speaking countries use CFA. For them to be able to use the CFA, they have to deposit their foreign reserves in the Central Bank of France. Now, what does that mean? The French, at any time, if they need money for development and so on, they just dip their hands into this money for their own development. No questions asked. If the African countries need their own money for development, they go to the Central Bank of France and take their own money as loans and pay interest on their own money that they've taken as loans. I mean, this is incredible. Nobody will tolerate this. West African leaders have sat down, seen this happen over and over again over the years. They've done nothing about it. They've been telling us about the West Africa monetary zone, the creation of a West Africa currency and so on. They've done nothing about it. When it came to going to wage war on Niger, they are in a hurry. They are running to go and wage war in Niger. They cannot develop a common currency for the region so that French-speaking West African countries can overcome their problem of dependence on France. But they will go and wage war so that France can continue to do as it pleases in West Africa. This is untenable. Look, Niger is said to be the second poorest country in the world, not in West Africa, in the world. Second poorest country in the world. In spite of the enormous resources it has, gold, uranium, petrol, gas, and so on, it is the second poorest country in the world. Why? Because the resources of Niger are not owned by the Nigerian people and are not exploited for the benefit of the people of Niger. That's the bottom line. Today, if French domination and exploitation of African countries stops, the French economy will collapse. It will collapse. There's no way of sustaining the French economy if its domination and exploitation of Africa comes to an end. And this statement is not just being made by Africans. The new Italian Prime Minister, I don't know if you are aware of the statement she made. He said, look, Africa needs to be liberated. And this is an Italian Prime Minister, right-wing Prime Minister, In fact, even some say that she belongs to the fascist wing of Italian politics and so on. And she is making an appeal to end French domination and exploitation of Africa. And she makes the point that it doesn't make sense. This country, which is supposed to be the second poorest country in the world, is actually the second largest drone base of the United States Armed Forces in the world. Yeah. Niger. The US has its second largest drone base in the world in Niger. But you know, the US has been smarter than most of the countries. Right? The US has beaten West African leaders and all of them to it. In the midst of all this, they quickly appointed a new US ambassador to Niger. That's a recognition of the junta. Huh? That US ambassador has already met with the junta leader. So the US has taken itself out of the problem, pretending to be recognizing the new administration, looking for a way into Niger and so on. The US has been much smarter than our heads of states. Of course, I know deep down that ultimately the US would want regime change. But they are not behaving like Alassane Ouattara and our own president and Tinubu and others. So, Master, I really am afraid of the unfolding situation. Because what will happen is that we, the victims of colonialism and neocolonialism, will be fighting ourselves instead of fighting our real enemies. And our real enemies will continue to scoop the benefits of the foolishness of our leaders to the impoverishment of our people. In any case, which West African country is doing well economically? Show me one. We are all in crisis. Nigeria has withdrawn subsidies on fuel. People are crying. The labor movements are crying in Nigeria. Poverty, exacerbating poverty and so on. And in spite of this, look at the discussions on the Bank of Ghana. Its losses and so on. And in the midst of this, we are going to look for more than how many billions to go and wage war. Our people cannot eat. In Ghana, food prices have gone up by more than 300% over the last 2 years. Our leaders are not thinking about that. They want to go and fight in Niger. What leaders are these? What kind of leaders are these? Do these leaders actually deserve to be in power? These leaders who are ignoring the suffering of our people, these leaders who think it is more important to go and wage war in Niger than to fight inflation, do they deserve to be in power? These leaders who do not care about escalating food prices, their major concern is waging war in Niger, are they worthy of the power they hold? Look, in front of me this morning, PURC has increased tariffs. Our leaders are not worried about that. Their worry is to go and reinstate Bazoum in power. How does that do to electricity tariffs? What does that do to water tariffs? What does that do to escalating price of fuel and so on? Really, are these leaders? They are not my leaders. And they don't speak for me. These people don't speak for me. And they don't speak for a vast majority of the people of West Africa. They must understand very clearly that if they want to wage war, if they wage war in Niger, there will be a boomerang effect. And that boomerang effect will sweep all of them out of power. That is my prediction.
Right. Now I have an interesting perspective from one of our ardent viewers, Prosper Shikwe. What strangely baffles me in all of these discussions is the absence of talks about what happened to Africa's self-assessment project for good governance, powered by a specialized agency of the African Union, the African Peer Review Mechanism, which was established in 2003 by the African Union in the framework of the implementation of NEPAD, which intent is to get nations to commit to note comparison and peer-to-peer review and acceleration of their political, economic, and sustainable development tenets. What happened to that? Guess what? In all of these discussions, that has strangely been missing. What ECOWAS and the EU should be looking at in the near future is to set up systems to support, especially Francophone Africa, to win itself of this political, economic, and military predominance, neo-colonialist and imperialist tendencies. The application of the APRM to share experiences, reinforce best practices, identify deficiencies, and assess capacity building needs to foster policy standards and practices. For me, will lead to political stability, high economic growth, sustainable development, and accelerated sub-regional and continental economic integration and stability. As opposed to these firefighting approaches usually deployed, member countries without the hampering of neo-colonialist tendencies must subscribe to the APRM to undertake self-monitoring. It says otherwise, we are likely to see more coup d'etats and insurgent activities within the sub-region, as predicted by Professor Kwesi Enin, because the youth are hungry for growth, and the sad part is that information is now available to them. For me, the Niger situation has to be handled through dialogue. Absolute military intervention will be wicked to the civilian population of Niger, and the collateral damage will be too costly. So that's Prosper Ashikwe's view. But Mark Kojo who's watching us in the States, also reminds us that as per data, Niger is number 6 in the world as far as the league table of poorest countries are concerned.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Just a second. No problem. But there's another important dimension which we ignore in all of this analysis. These governments, Burkina, Mali, Guinea, Niger, they are fighting Islamic insurgents. When the Islamic insurgency was on the rise, West African leaders were not bothered. They didn't care. They haven't done anything substantial. Now they are going to Niger to fight the armed forces of Niger. When they have defeated the armed forces of Niger and installed Bazoum in power, what will they do? Withdraw? Now if they withdraw, who is then going to fight the Islamic insurgents? Bazoum will become, easy target for the Islamic insurgents. They overthrow him in a few days and take over. So the only way this, from their point of view, would make sense is to go there, overthrow the junta, install Bazoum, and stay there to fight the Islamic insurgents. How long are we ready to go and stay in Niger and fight? It's not something you can just go, install Bazoum, and leave. If you install Bazoum, you must keep troops on the ground to fight the Islamic insurgents and protect Bazoum. Which West African country has the capacity to do that? Madness!
Randy.
Yes.
Good morning. And good morning, Kwesi.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Massa is on fire.
Massa is on fire.
Massa.
Kwesi, the latter part of your submission and your prediction is quite scary.
I'm gonna lobby for the ECOWAS to invite him to give a keynote address at the other session.
Interestingly, the guy who is apparently leading the charge, Dr. Musa Al-Fatu, has been our cadre all these years. I don't know what has happened to Musa all of a sudden.
Is it Musa of Nigeria?
No, Musa is a Ghanaian.
Okay.
The one who was on Newsfile.
Musa is on Ghanaian. Musa actually, I think, was part of the June 4th movement, or was related to the June 4th movement. Eventually was active in the United Revolutionary Front and so on. Musa is our ally. All of a sudden, I don't know what has come over Musa.
Is he the one who was on Newsfile just this weekend?
This weekend I didn't listen to Newsfile, but he may very well be.
Well, maybe he has some set of facts that we are not privy to.
No, it's his job which is killing him. He should resign from that job. That job is not doing him any good.
Oh. Massa.
Well, listening to Kwesi, I hope he's not happy about the coup, as in coups.
That's no longer an issue. We've passed that stage.
Yes.
Happiness or unhappiness about the coup is not an issue
because
now.
people are watching and listening, somebody might misinterpret your submission.
We are entitled to do that. Okay. I don't care. Yes. We are not talking about whether we are happy with coups or we are not happy with coups. We've come to a new conjecture.
Yes.
And in this space, happiness with coups or unhappiness with coups is irrelevant.
Randy, since the last time we were here, I thought there was some progress on the diplomatic front. Because I read a news article where an envoy, ECOWAS envoy or so, the former leader of Nigeria, had been allowed access after previously being prevented from seeing the leadership of the junta. So I thought we were making progress until I saw a video of the Burkinabe and the Malian soldiers entering. Randy, it was like a jubilation, a triumphant entry into Niger, and that really got me scared. I mean, it sent a signal that really the threats or the issues that were raised by Burkina Faso and Mali at the time, that they were prepared to support the junta, really carrying it out. And Randy, my hope is that we will not get to a point where we will have to go to war. I'm just hoping. I've seen the leaders meeting in Abuja. I listened to a press conference by one of the leaders and I got a little bit scared. I just hope that we don't get to a point where we have to fight. I think that there are too many intelligent people around who should be able to bring cool heads to bear and for us to jaw and settle this matter amicably. Really, nobody benefits from a war. I mean, recently, the prices of onion, just because some borders have been closed and all that, prices of onions have escalated in Ghana. So it tells you that what happens in another country has rippling effects on yours. And so we have to be very careful how we look at these things. I have said that I would prefer a democratically elected leader to a military intervention. I will always, at any point in time, prefer that. But it's important that leaders who have been democratically elected don't take the mandate of the people for granted. It's very important that we don't lose sight of the fact that we are where we are because somebody decided to vote for you, using his or her tongue, and that he expects you to exhibit a certain character traits or show a certain set of leadership, and that the continuous oppression or suppression of the people can lead to a situation where people take arms and try to overthrow a democratically elected government. So this is also an advice to all of us. I get up from home, go to Parliament, do my work, and I'm happy about it. I mean, always I listen to Okujeto, and the last time it was like, whenever there is a coup, the first arm of government that gets dissolved is Parliament. And Parliament goes off, the government in place also goes off. I lose my job. I wouldn't want a situation like that. So it's also an admonition to we, the leaders who have been democratically elected, not to take the will of the people for granted, and to try as much as possible, Randy, to satisfy their wishes, because the continuous problems can lead to some of these things, which is quite unfortunate. I don't think any of us will want a coup or a war to happen. I still will appeal to the West African leaders to continue to judge. I strongly believe, Randy, that we should be able as a people to talk this through and to come to a certain level of agreement. If the coup guys are in place, we discuss, have discussion with them, there can be a transition process where we can get back to.
You know what I've been thinking about the last few days. I don't know, were you one of the MPs who met, who were at the briefing?
Yes, it was all of us. They came to brief.
Yes.
So three committees.
No, he's talking about the initial one, the military, the top hierarchy Or you're talking about this particular measure? Oh no, that's why it was selected committees.
Okay, so you were not.
No. Okay. I thought you were talking about the briefing by the Ghanaian military.
You know what? I heard it. Okay, so to restore democracy, yes, it makes some sense and all that. But I was wondering how come all these years, these guys had never thought about how they can come together and raise about $3 billion for some economic transformation in the sub-region.
That's true. I just heard the budget. I just heard the budget Uncle C mentioned at $3 billion.
You know, there's a company in Ghana called Aluex.
I just heard the $3 billion, and I was wondering how they were going to raise that amount of money. I'm sure when it comes to that particular juncture, they will come back to Parliament to seek a revision of the budget, because of course I know the budget.
That is if they expect to take the money from the state.
But where are they going to get the money from?
Maybe they will have some foreign collaborators who will bring them the money.
$3 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Or the Bank of Ghana will print some for them.
So, Randy, I think my position is that I think we should continue to speak to each other and not at each other.
I see. All right. Okay. So we'll see about that. Let's take a break. We'll return. Bank of Ghana.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
Over 18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Appointed Time GH. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a...
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush. my cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us
6 weeks later.
A special wedding reception for our bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Who holds the ruler, calls the shots. Play Game Pack Games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Big 4 numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now, or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Pack is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
I didn't know here. TV, fridge, freezer, air condition, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, and iron. Seven Hisense smartphone is yeah, it's more than a Hisense factory direct promo. It's in your madada noa. Emma light bill kuno. Fasi baby, never for 28 August, I copy him 2nd September. Be way showroom no. Saturday at no. Sana yet on. Wait dear, ya take this bro so. Who Hisense? Everyday prices for everyday people.
Do you need a place with a stunning view and serene environment just beneath the Green Mountains with a commercial center and recreational area with an amazing park? Then look no further.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Welcome to Rehoboth Havens, the most affordable yet luxurious gated community located in Damfa, Accra. We have 2 and 3 bedroom houses with spacious park. Let me show you. All of our rooms come with beautiful porcelain tiles, durable fitted kitchen cabinets,
constant water supply,
electricity and water 24/7.
I'm buying this house. Stop processing my papers. Move it. If you're living in Ghana and want an affordable and luxurious house to buy, look no further than Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. Oh, and to those from the diaspora, aren't you tired of living in places that doesn't belong to you? You can also own your house and be your own landlord from Rehoboth Social Housing Limited. I have my own, Bosu Landlord.
Contact us now. Rehoboth Social Housing. Your housing dream becomes reality.
Yamawako about the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie, a bano KSC near Wakadia. Ubenya Biwa. Kabian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye wo hwenim de fu a obeso anu yi amao. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories ye dwuma die die. Eye 24/7 o. Ye sese wo engine, wo brake, battery, yesesa wo tire. Se bano car wash dia. Ye wo abefun fidie bi ti se steamer ye de horo car engine abra nsuo nko engine nim. Ye san ye detailing metre se ye betwetwe car no mu ba bia amao. Ye wi a ya san polish car na ma o kama. Enye we no nko ye san to car batteries, tires, rims, any de keke kan. Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories Emma wo car ensi ne dadem na enwu adwuma ma o. Hwehwe ye chira kwan wo dansoma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwani mu e won kran. Se wo information anansem bisa bia 024-651-9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. O kwan so yonko papa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. So with me on the show, I have Kwesi Pratt Jr. and the Honorable Collins Adumako Mensah. As the Makers Electronic Blessings Attack promo, and I'm informing you that they have discounts of up to 67% on selected electronic appliances from brands such as Samsung, LG Move, NASCO, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. These are quality but affordable electronic appliances with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit the showrooms of the Makers Electronics Company Limited at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasama Zumbu Junction, Oyari Fatem and Boga Junction, Kaswa New Market, Asherman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobi, Takrady Kuman number 9 Markets. You can reach the Makers Electronics Company Limited on 055-22-22253 or 055-22-22254. The Makers Electronics Company Limited, large and in charge with quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions do apply. And are you ready to get way more back with Betway in the new season? Use the golden booking code that you can find on the Betway site and place your risk-free bet from 25th to the 27th of August. Guaranteed to give you 100% back as a free bet, up to 50 cedis if you lose. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and is not for persons under the age of 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, bet your way. All right. Collins.
Yes, boss.
Did you hear Governor Addison?
Yes, I didn't listen to the press conference, but I later.
Okay. So he says that on the headquarters, he said they have not breached any procurement laws. The idea to build was in 2019 when they had not made any losses. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me know add other things to it. In the course of your submission, I will find space for those things.
Randy.
He says that they've actually done nothing wrong, and on the losses, he says that these are losses from 1992, that those government and cocoa board things come to about 13 billion from 1992, and that they have not breached any law as well, and that they met with the finance minister and they increased the limit. He doesn't tell us what the new limit is, but he says that the finance minister informed Parliament during the IMF DDEP briefing. He informed Parliament in accordance with Act 612, Section 30, as amended. You are on the Finance Committee, so you're one of the people who know the new limit and have been hiding it. And so he says that virtually they've done nothing. What they did was to save the economy, to prevent the economy from collapsing. I've been reading the statement line by line. If I show you my copy, you see my green pen, green and red. You know.
Green and red.
Yes. There are things that are underlined with green, others are underlined with red.
The green ones are the positive ones. And the red.
I won't tell you. But he says it's kosher. Nothing wrong.
At least there's some green. At least there's some green. Well, Randy, I have said this to a few of my colleague friends in the party, that when I listen to the governor, they have one particular issue. Why this long?
Why this long?
Why this long?
In doing what?
In coming out.
Oh, they've been issuing statements.
No, Randy. I mean, the issues that were being bundled around were issues that required what he did to have been done long time ago.
They issue statements.
Randy, I know the statement they issued, that F and Q&A. Randy,
not those ones. They've issued statements that we've read on this program.
Randy, this is an independent institution with a corporate structure, with a PR unit, all those things. When issues of this nature come into the public domain, it's incumbent on you to inform the public. Let us know what the situation actually is. Now we're saying that the building started in 2019. I didn't know that it started in 2019.
It's not even true.
You get the point of view? I didn't know. No, he's saying.
If you look at the procurement processes and look at the procurement documentation, it cannot be.
So if he said in 2019, probably maybe the discussions around it.
Yeah, but discussion is not building. There are discussions that started in Diago Azambuja's time.
So the point I'm making is that this information, I didn't know about it. He says at the time the bank was making profit. That is true. From 2007, 2016, the bank was making profits. 2017, profits.
They didn't. They said 2017, 2018 because of the financial sector cleanup.
They didn't make profits?
Yes.
2019, they made profits. 2020, they made profits. 2021, they made profits. It's 2022 that, as he said, based on the DDEP, they made a loss. So they sat as a board and decided that we need a new office based on the fact that we've been able to make profit over a period. So let's take part of the profit to build the headquarters.
It was not part of.
Really? That's what he says.
Yeah, but I'm saying that when you interrogate the...
That's what he's saying.
No, I'm not saying that's not what he said.
Okay.
I'm just saying that you would want to get okay, so I was just going through the procurement documents, and you would see that the applications actually was in August of 2020.
Okay.
That is when they started going.
I'm saying that 2020. I'm saying that yes, maybe the 2019 he's talking about is when the discussion around it seriously began in 2019.
Yeah, but what has that got
so
to do?
PPA and all those things.
You have a discussion in 2019 in the heat of COVID. In the heat of COVID, when the whole world was going crazy. That is when you decided to actualize the discussion you had in 2019.
I'm saying that they said they made profits. And when the issue came up first, this is a bank that has made a loss. And we are being told that they are spending $25 million on a new 250 million.
3 billion cedis.
Randy, anybody will get angry.
Yes.
Immediately. What's happening? You've made a loss. How come everybody gets angry? Now he's telling us that, this whole thing started in 2019. And at the time they were making profits. I am saying that why wait all this long before giving us this information? So my problem is that I thought that the seriousness of the issue and the way it was being discussed in the public domain necessitated this press conference to have been done a while ago.
But to be fair to the BOG, unlike the issues of lending to government, the issue of the cost of the head office really came to a head after their financials were made public.
Of course.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's not been too long.
No. When this financial thing came up, but Randy, we've been having this discussion on this Bank of Ghana thing. It's been almost three weeks.
Okay.
That's the point I'm making.
So that is within that context.
It's within that context. Right. And I meant that no, when these things come up, you quickly come out and say that these are the facts. Then everybody now is quite comfortable. Even if you are not comfortable, at least you've given us some information. We can then interrogate that information. If a governor holds a press conference, Randy, the value of that press conference can never be equated to a press statement. There's a difference. Yes, so it carries some weight and everything. So I thought that there was too much of a delay. But of course, he has come out. You have explained. You may not agree with him, as you are just making a point that 2019, 2020, we are getting into a COVID time. Even if you made a profit, was the time right for you to have decided, even with your profit?
The road to PP on the 12th of August, 2020.
So was the time right for you to, even if you have made profits, to trigger an implementation of a discussion that you've had since 2019? These are things we can already have a discussion about. These are things we can have. But at least, you are not spending $250 when you've made a loss. You have clarified that that decision was taken.
In fact, at the time, their decision was to spend $80 million.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Then I saw that the figure has jumped all the way to 20. That kind of jump. It went to one.
It moved from the 80 that the PPA gave them approval to proceed on. Then they moved to another figure of 120. So straight away there was a variation of about 50% in the cost.
The cost.
Yes. This is 5th of January, 2023. Yes.
So there's a variation.
Yes.
You quickly come out and explain. If you explain to everybody, Randy, I may not agree with you, but at least we're giving us some explanation. This maintenance, vehicle maintenance thing that we were talking about. I mean, Randy, if you look at the jump, everybody will be like, hey, what is happening? Come out and explain. What are the components? What leads to this amount? When you explain things of this nature.
But by December, 29th of December 2022, the bank was aware that it was making losses.
By December
2022.
Of course, but audits, that's the 2022 audits.
Yes.
Yes, what the audits that brought about this loss is the 2022 year.
Yes.
So by December.
Yes, by the 29th of December.
Yes.
When the bank wrote to the PPA asking for that review from the 80 to the 120, it was aware that it was going to do a DDEP with
But Randy, by that time, the construction has already started.
You don't get the point I'm
making. I get the point
I'm saying that it was at that time that they were requesting for a variation from 80 to 120.
Yes.
At the time that they knew. Worst part is that, as we speak now, even after the full knowledge of the laws, there's a variation again from 120 to 220 something. An extra $100 million.
From the 120 to 220.
Yes, 227 or so.
Well, really, that's what I'm saying, that we need information. If you've moved a contract that was initially 80 to 120 and it has jumped to 220, explain to us how it got to 220. If you leave that vacuum, we will feel it with our own information. I cannot get that information. I don't sit on the board of Bank of Ghana.
So
do I work in the system?
From 12th of August, 80 something, then 29th of December 2022 to 120. Then in 2023, it goes to 227.
All this while the construction has started.
In dollar, yes.
Yeah, the construction has started.
Yes.
And I mean, the last time when I was going to that side, I saw it. So it's gone quite, they've got about 40% completion. But I can see that it is going up. Yes. So the point I'm making is, Randy, this variation you are talking about, it moved from 80 to 120 to 240.
Dollar, not cedis.
So explain to us. Tell us why.
What is a change in scope and all those things?
So which means that the initial scope, you've changed the designs and all that.
Yes.
So Randy, give us that information. If you tell us and you put the cost to it, we can then analyze and say whether the cost you've associated with
let me read something.
That's has necessitated that jump.
Let me read
right or wrong.
a letter dated 17th of January 2023 from the Central Tender Review Committee or Ministry of Finance. It says, reconstruction of corporate headquarters at South Ridge, Accra, variation. Please refer to the letter number SF/Department/6/2023/07 dated 5th January 2023, which was submitted on the above subject. And the subject is construction of corporate headquarters at South Ridge, Accra, variation. It says, 2, the committee reviewed the Bank of Ghana's variation request at the 17th emergency sitting on Thursday, 29 December 2022. In a letter dated 30th December 2022, the committee communicated concerns to BOG, which was responded to in a letter dated 5th January 2022. Following a review of the response, the committee noted that the issues raised remained unsatisfactorily addressed. BOG was accordingly invited to a clarification meeting and was subsequently requested to submit the original contract document, design proposals, differences in scope of works, and other relevant documentation on the project to facilitate the review of the request. At the 21st emergency meeting on Tuesday, 17 January 2023, the committee reviewed the documentation submitted by BOG and noted the following: inadequate project design conception and preparation of the original contract. Inadequate project design conception and preparation of the original contract. And this is communication of 17 January 2023, this year. It says, entirely new scope in design for the revised project. Entirely new scope. Revised scope of works has already commenced prior to seeking approval from the Central Tender Review Committee. No detailed project milestones identified as benchmark for payment under the project to protect Bank of Ghana against any risk of financial exposure. Unit cost of revised scope of works is competitive with unit cost of similar projects on the market, and they've given the source, Property and Construction Africa Cost Guide. The committee hereby advises BOG to adhere to the requirements of a comprehensive design preparation and procurement approvals for projects of such nature, design and build, to avoid huge variation costs in future procurements. BOG is further advised to develop detailed project milestones as benchmark for payments under the project.
And this is January 2023.
Yes, which means that at the August 2020, when they were writing and seeking, and they got approval for 81 and all that, they were in 6s and 7s. It perhaps shows that they didn't even know
because what they were about. Inadequate
yeah, so if you look at this as of January, it therefore is not surprising that you have a project which is starting at 81 million or so, moves to 120, is now at 220 something.
You see,
dollar.
Yes, and you see, Randy, this document you are referring to,
yes,
came through your grapevine.
Yes,
but that's my problem, Randy. That has been my problem, Nkwesi.
So this is how it ends. He says that in view of the stage of the project and reasonableness of the unit cost, the committee grants concurrent approval for the revised scope of works at a contract amount of, listen, $222,799,760 relating to a unit cost of 2,068.13 per square meter and excluding taxes.
I'm saying this document you are reading, you got it from your own sources.
From the son of man sources.
So the point I'm making is the Bank of Ghana. You are an institution. You are an institution with a structure. Immediately this story broke up, it is incumbent on you to make all these documents available. Let us interrogate it. At the end of the day, your reason for taking this decision may be justified. But if you don't make the document and the information available, and then someone piecemeal is able to go behind the system and get all these documents, you create problems for yourself. You create problems for yourself. I mean, Randy, ordinarily, anybody who reads this letter that you've just read, talking about misconception, amount moving from, even Randy, if something moved from 120 to 200 and something, that's about 100 million jump.
Yes.
That's about $100 million jump. Yes. That is about $100 million jump.
The project started at 81.
Yes.
And it's currently at 227.
So even from when you move it to 120, from 120 to 2,
yes,
that's about 100 million.
Yes.
So it is incumbent on you to provide all the documents that has led to this amount to justify your position. If you leave that vacuum, you will fill that vacuum. People will fill that vacuum. Whether with truth or with lies, people will fill that vacuum. Because this amount is staggering, and everybody will be startled. How come we are building a building for $250 million? It's and that is where I have a problem. I think that.
Meanwhile, you see, and I worry about the trajectory. So let me just read these two documents to you. So this one, Ministry of Finance, and it is dated, I think it's the 29th of August 2020. Reconstruction of new corporate office complex for Bank of Ghana, 10-key project. It says, please refer to the letter number, is there, dated 26 August 22, which was submitted on the above subject. The committee reviewed the Bank of Ghana's evaluation report at the emergency sitting on Wednesday, 12 August 2020. In a letter dated 12 August 2020, the committee noted that issues of capacity used for the disqualification of Mesha's Man Enterprise Limited contradicted the basis for the shortlisting and approval of the tenderer to participate in the restrictive tender. Also, variances in technical scoring by the evaluators on experience, turnover, personnel and equipment requirements suggested the use of subjective sub-criteria for the evaluation of proposals, among others. At the emergency sitting on Friday, 28th of August 2020, the committee reviewed BOG's revised valuation report and noted that the recommended award figure of $121,078,517.94 substantially exceeded the Public Procurement Authority approved estimate amount of $81,882,640, Bank of Ghana is hereby requested to provide justification for the recommended award amount in relation to the approved amount by the PPA. Now, this is the Finance Ministry writing to the BOG. Then
seeking justification for the jump.
Yes. Now, then on the 4th of September 2020, you now have the Bank of Ghana writing to the Central Tender Review Committee, reconstruction of new corporate office complex for Bank of Ghana, Tenki project. Refer to your letter dated 3rd of August 2020 on the above subject. In the above mentioned letter, the Central Tender Review Committee indicated that at the emergency meeting, the committee reviewed Bank of Ghana's revised valuation report and noted that the recommended award figure of 121 substantially exceeded the public procurement approved estimate amount of 81. The CTRC requested the bank to provide justification for the recommended award amount in relation to the approval amount by the PPA. In a letter dated 31st August 2020, the Bank of Ghana provided justification for an upward review of the PPA approved amount of 81.882640 and further requested approval of the PPA for the bank to proceed with the process with an amount of 121,078,517.94, being the lowest evaluated price submitted by the successful tenderer. The Bank of Ghana submits the attached letter from PPA indicating an upward review of the initial approved estimated cost of the above mentioned project from 81 to 121, and further requests the CTRC to grant its concurrent approval for the recommendations of the evaluation panel on the above mentioned project. So this is how the thing went. So you can even see the concerns being raised by
even the Finance Ministry.
The Finance Ministry itself, the PPA itself, the Central Tender Review Committee and all that.
Yes. No, I'm saying that, Randy, Bank of Ghana is not doing itself any good if it is not making available all this documentation for public scrutiny. Now these things are coming out. The justification that they talked about, where is it? They sent it to Ministry of Finance. Now it's in the public domain. Is it not proper if they make it available for everybody to see, so you can all draw conclusions? That is my worry. And now, even after this letter, there's another one that is pushing the amount to 200 something, above 200 million. Get the documentations available to the Ghanaian public. Let us scrutinize it. Let us draw our own conclusions and know whether indeed the decisions you've taken was in the interest of Ghana. That's all. Otherwise, when you create the vacuum, you will fill it. People will fill it with whether lies or truth, as I said.
What can I add to what Collins has said? I mean, there's a picture of complete mess. That's the picture we are getting. A central bank, which has over the last couple of weeks been insisting that it is not a profit-making organization, all of a sudden is now having discussions with the public on the basis of profit and loss. That itself is problematic. Okay? Then we have a situation where the central bank, governor of the central bank actually holds a press conference and says, yes, these things have been done, but it's not the first time. It was also done in the NDC era. Who cares? Who cares? Whether it was done in the NDC era or not is not the issue. Have things been properly done or not properly done? That's the issue. Who cares about whether the NDC also did that? You understand? And then we are told that this is not the first time the bank is incurring losses, again, losses. And that has been incurring losses since 2019 or thereabout. When did we, or when were we told, ever, that the Bank of Ghana had made losses? The first time that I'm hearing the Bank of Ghana has made losses is this year. Never heard it before. Okay?
I'm sure it's even the quantum of the loss, which is really,
but I've never heard it before. Understand? Now, the other thing that really shocks me, you understand, it shocks me. This is the bank which only recently was arguing that it had not printed currency. Serious. That it had not printed any currency. Now we are being told that the bank has printed currency. How can you believe these people? They were arguing seriously. You remember, with the minority in parliament, that they haven't printed any currency
And
as well.
look for those Bank of Ghana statements for me. I even need to do
Now
some
they've come
content
to admit
analysis
that
on all of them.
they printed currency. You forget all of these things. What is the responsibility of the Bank of Ghana? One of the responsibilities of the Bank of Ghana is to ensure that inflation is properly managed so it doesn't get out of hand. We are in a situation where inflation nearly hit the 50% mark.
It crossed.
58.
Yeah, it crossed.
58. Now inflation is around 40 something. And the Bank of Ghana is still holding press conferences. To do what? One of the responsibilities of the Bank of Ghana is to ensure that the cedi is stabilized. Today, I'm looking at Public Utility Regulatory Commission. And the exchange rate they are using, I think, is 11.4. 11.4. Coming from 4 cedis to 11.4. And the Bank of Ghana is still holding press conferences. I mean, Honorable, maybe you can understand. I don't. You can understand.
They're saying that something exceptional has happened. They had to do what they had to do to prevent the economy from collapse. If they had not pumped all that money in dealing with government's expenditure, there would have been no economy. This country would have gone bust.
I heard that. And then I started looking at the figures. Is this economy healthy?
So Kwesi, what
is this economy?
No,
healthy?
but Kwesi, what it then
Hasn't
means?
this economy collapsed?
No, Kwesi, but then what it means is that if after all this infusion of printing of money, we have the economy the way it is, then only God knows which kind of country would have had if it had not happened.
You're right.
Only God knows.
But you see, Randy, they talk about exceptional circumstances. The only exceptional circumstance we have in this case is that the Bank of Ghana was trying to hide the collapse of the economy.
Yes.
So anytime the cedi fell in value, they looked at their dollar reserves and pumped in a lot more so that the cedi gained some artificial stability.
Yeah. And anytime...
So the Bank of Ghana has contributed to bring us here because they didn't want us to know the truth about the mismanagement
because
of the
anytime
economy.
the issue of their printing money was raised, instead of being truthful and telling us that, look, yes, this is where we are, it's a mess, we need to do, at least even engage Parliament to let them know, they won't do that. They would get people to put together all manner of grammar with all manner of financial terminologies that don't even make sense to chartered financial analysts to try and explain what was happening. Sometimes I thank God for the IMF program. Because but for that, we were living a lie in this country. We were living a lie, we were never truthful to ourselves until we now had to provide unadulterated, undiluted data on the state of our economy. And that is where a lot of these things have come to a head. But for their financials, would they be telling us all these things? But for their financials.
Of course, if they had not made a loss, this issue would not
I'm not saying yes, but for their financials. Because the same things that they own up to now and give us as the reasons for why they are where they are, those issues are not new. They never owned up to them. They never owned up to these issues. They never.
But you see, do you blame the Bank of Ghana alone?
Oh no, how can I blame them alone?
I don't blame the Bank of Ghana alone. Those who are accomplices in this are many. One, take the so-called majority side in parliament.
Mm. Collins and his people.
Yes.
Why say so?
Hold on. We were sitting at somewhere. We were not complaining. You came and told us that the economy was being mismanaged. And that, from your point of view, one of the remedies was to change the finance minister. Not so. Then you went and had your meeting with the president, and the president said, wait, when we clinch an IMF deal, I'll let the guy go. You are still sitting down, Are you not accomplices? You are accomplices. The so-called minority side also said, look, the economy is in tatters and so on. One of the things we have to do is to impeach. The man that you people came and told us was not doing well, was responsible for the mess in the economy. You came and told us. And I said, no, we will not allow the minority to impeach that same man that you people said was incompetent. We will fight to retain him. What is happening? Are you not all accomplices? You're all accomplices. Andy, look, the way things are going and go, if you don't take care and you begin to take this matter seriously, you get a heart attack and die some foolish death.
You are not going to that.
Yeah, because the way things are going, the state of the economy, you know the state of the economy.
Because you are not going to die.
Complete mess.
No, but you are not going.
As we sit here, there are credible speculations about another banking sector collapse. You know that.
Well, the DDEP put some pressure on the commercial banks. That is
not even before that.
No, I'm coming. I mean the DDEP, because some banks have declared losses, but I'm saying the DDEP put some pressure on them. I think there are some arrangements.
There was some grounded speculation about a possible bank collapse again. Now, what should that do to ordinary people?
I'm saying that there are
I'm being very careful because we know the names of the banks which are distressed. We all know.
And I'm saying that.
But I'm not going to mention them now, and so because it will create a crisis for the economy.
Yes. But I'm saying
given what you said, we know that a bank collapse is possible. What would that do to people, to businesses, and so on? And we are still pretending that things are okay.
Parliament.
Yes, sir.
God help us all.
We are on recess.
You're on recess?
Yes.
You don't work when you're on recess?
Oh, committee meetings can be called during recess. But we are on recess.
You're on recess. Lie. Ghana.
Daddy, you don't want us to go on recess.
Oh, everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a break.
Shouldn't even come back from recess. It will be better off if you stay where you are.
They shouldn't come back.
Coming to do what?
Have you met the speaker?
Yeah.
Said that the finance and energy and mines committees, you should hold a joint meeting on the Gensa GMPC deal.
We've not met.
But that was the directive of the speaker.
Yes, directive of the speaker. In fact, I think the energy committee had met on their own, and I think per the practices in Parliament, a matter must be referred to a committee before a report can be laid or brought back to the plenary for discussion. So it was JJ, our own, my good friend George Napo, raised an issue on the floor that he was pleading with the speaker to officially or formally refer the matter to the committee so that the report can be laid. But I think JJ raised two issues. The gold for oil came in, and then the Gensa issue. And because most of it has to do with exchange, especially with the gold for oil, the speaker then directed that instead of just the energy committee sitting on the matter, the joint committee of energy and finance should sit on the matter. But that was the last day of the sitting. So subsequently, it was Ato Forsen who's not a minority leader, who raised the issue on our platform, that when are we meeting to consider the gas deal and the tax exemptions under the 1D, 1F? Because there were a lot of them that were outstanding. There were a lot of them.
Are you the people who were told have gave a tax exemption to a hotel under 1D, 1F?
I've seen the story. And let me finish, I'll explain that one. Okay. So that was also, JJ then put the, Latof wasn't then requested that, we should have a meeting. And the chairman said, that's fine. And that the clerk should put all the other outstandings. And he suggested first week in September. Okay. And then others also came in. I think most people were back in their constituencies. So others suggested that we do second week in September. So indeed, we are yet to sit as a joint committee on that particular one. So to be, hopefully, chairman will confirm the dates to us, but it's likely to be the second week in September. The issue you just read, I saw it 2 days ago. I think the Fourth Estate reported that the Parliament has approved a tax exemption for a private developer hotel under 1D, 1F. So quickly, because I saw so I called my chairman. And someone said, Collins, check it well. I don't think it's the case. Then I went back to read the story. Then I saw the name of the company, Meridian Formac, and ran in all honesty. The discussion that ensued at the committee level had nothing to do with 1D, 1F. Indeed, at the committee, officials of GIPC were present. So normally when we are discussing 1D, 1F, it will be the minister who is presenting the paper, and then officials of the relevant ministry will be there. So there was no official from the trade ministry. There was none. So the discussion that went on was clearly about strategic investment, which comes under the GIPC Act.
So what happened?
I'm coming. So they came, we had a discussion. The entire discussion was about the strategic investment. And we argued that at the time we had passed the new Tax Exemptions Act.
Yes.
So we had to reduce the requested figure from $6 to $3 million. So that was what happened. Now this not normally happens in the committee. Other committees, what they do is that when the clerk is done and they do their report, they put it on the platform for all members to go through before, if there are any changes to be done and all. So I asked the chair, can we get a copy of the report? When I saw the report, I realized the first 3 paragraphs, because at the time there was a lot of tax exemptions under the 1D, 1F also in play. You will see very clearly that it's a cut and paste. So they move the name of the company. So maybe...
Who did that?
This normally that happens at the secretariat.
Okay. In Parliament?
In Parliament. The secretariat that is allocated to the committee. Okay. Yes. So when I was reading, I realized from 1 to 3, you see the argument as 1D, 1F. When you come to 5 downwards, then it shifts to the strategic investment. So you realize that officials of the GIPC explain this. Officials of GIPC explain this. And Randy, in all honesty, the first 3 paragraphs must be an error, because I was at the meeting. And I remember there was a lot of argument at the meeting. We had a lot of argument why they felt that their request to GIPC preceded the enactment of the Exemptions Act. So they didn't see why we should trigger the new act, although they had a previous agreement. And then we said no. Once the act is in force, the domestic tax component of it has to be taken off. We cannot exempt that. So Randy, in all honesty, and I was at the meeting, and I will speak the truth. In all honesty, the discussion about it was never about 1D, 1F. Yesterday, I tried to get a video of the debate. Because normally when you present the paper or you move the motion, the debates that will ensue will tell you whether it was under 1D, 1F or not. I tried to get the video because I didn't know exactly the day the paper was moved, so I couldn't get the video. But in all honesty, Randy, if you look at even the page from 5 to the end to the conclusion, it tells you that we did not consider it under 1D, 1F. Yes, we did not.
You didn't. We did it. Okay. So what is the new lending rate that you were informed about in Parliament by the Finance Minister?
So, Randy,
the Act 612,
yeah.
the Act says that the central bank can lend up to 5% of the previous year's tax revenue.
And Randy, let me conclude on this.
Yes.
On the issue, yes. I think we've had discussion on our platform, and the finance committee, as a committee, will issue a statement.
Okay.
I also asked Ato, how can we amend the report? They said, well, when we come back, you can easily move a motion or a plea to the speaker for us to amend the first 3 portions, paragraphs of it. So
the fourth estate was not wrong.
No, they were not wrong.
But you are explaining that
Yes.
you think that there was an error.
Yes, they were not wrong. In fact,
there was a clerical error.
Yes, in fact, the first day I saw it, when I saw the story, I said, this story is false. Because I was at the meeting and I don't think we considered it. So when I saw the report, then I realized they had picked the information directly from the report that was presented. So you can't blame them.
Okay.
Just that if they are spoken to, but the report said they tried to reach the chairman. I think they didn't get any.
The chairman is Kweku Kwati.
Okay. In fact, if they had reached out to any of us, I think we could have explained it to them. But they were not wrong in reporting the fact as was presented to the plenary. They were not wrong. No.
Okay. So what is the new lending threshold?
I'm not aware of any new lending threshold. I'm not aware of it.
Haven't you read the governor's statement?
Well, I read the governor's statement. The governor was...
Didn't you see that he said that in line with Act 612, they
Yes.
met with the finance minister, they set a new limit for the lending. Now the finance minister informed Parliament when he was informing you about DDEP and IMF.
I must probably have to go back and read the finance minister's statement.
You are not aware of a new limit?
I'm not aware.
And a member of the finance committee?
No, the finance minister didn't come to the finance committee.
Okay.
And the law does not say he should come to the finance committee.
Yes.
The law says he should brief Parliament. I'm saying
But
that...
you're a member of the finance committee, you should be interested in things like that.
That's what I'm saying, that
Yes.
I have the statement. I've read the statement.
The DDEP IMF one?
Yes.
You have it?
Yeah, because that DDEP IMF one was upon a request from the speaker, if you recall, that he should come and brief the House. I think somebody had moved a motion on that, and the speaker had agreed with the person that he should come and brief the House. Randy, I think if you have a copy of it, I didn't see an announcement of...
So you are saying that you are not aware of a new limit?
I'm not aware of a new limit, as in the threshold.
Yes.
Maybe he can borrow, they can lend up to 50%
Yes.
of... No, I'm not aware of it.
You are not?
I'm not aware of it. I'm not. And I'm being very frank about it.
Are you that irresponsible as a lawmaker?
I'm
a member
not
of the
aware
finance
of it.
committee?
Well, Randy,
You have been attending which one did you attend? Was it the spring meetings? The IMF World Bank meetings. You've been attending the meetings.
Randy, if you know of it, just let me know.
No, I'm saying the governor said it, or
No,
you didn't see it in the
I've
governor's
read the
statement.
governor's statement.
Yes.
And I'm saying that I'm not aware, because I have also gone through the statement that was presented by the finance minister. I did not read that the finance minister was informing us that they've moved the limits per the law from 5% to
any other percent
under an emergency, just as we have been called.
You are not aware?
I'm not aware.
Are you aware?
No, I'm not aware.
Maybe you are
how?
aware. I'm not aware.
Even as a senior citizen, you have not been made aware. Maybe Desi is aware. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day in Ghana.
Are senior citizens supposed to be briefed separately on new limit? The way you ask that.
Yeah, maybe.
But he is inside Parliament. He's actually
maybe he's not doing his work well.
He doesn't.
Maybe he's not doing his work well.
Yeah. Look, I think that the time has come for all of us to take Ghana serious. All of us have a responsibility to take Ghana serious. The way things are going, I get the impression that people think that we are on a long joke, and it's not healthy for all of us. Parliament is supposed to be giving information, it is not giving, nothing happens, people do as they like. And it's really amazing. We are wrecking this country. We are wrecking this country, and I think all of us have to be careful. No point mounting restrooms and shouting democracy, democracy, and democracy. Let's practice it. If we don't practice it, we'll be compelled to practice it one day.
Anyway, so we're going to search for the new limit.
From where?
Huh?
From where?
Maybe because Yajuasu. New limit, where art thou? Up next, GMG Trends.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement. A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly. Betway. Bet your way.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, poll cards and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work process from start to finish. At Appointed Time, our prices are very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is the solution.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in Sranu Deuro.
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. I'm up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Ewo Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Izongo Junction. Edike Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafu Buachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Efiekuma. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
The same got to moon, I'm a sissy.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending on social media with Desi, the star boy. Do your thing.
What find me Ojugba? What find me Ojugba?
Okay.
Pneumodrome.
Pneumodrome, Ojugba.
I've constructed a whole set.
Oh, you need living.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you need living.
What are you doing today?
Oh, you need living.
Omo yemi.
Omo yebo. Okay.
At the first.
What's going on?
Doc,
yes.
We like the times yesterday we had September 1st. increase
the tariff.
This one we're here. Oh yeah, Agogo's. You know, you no wonder as you read the people the embassy. Hey. But that picture and the videos from the embassy, doc. Last week I had them. I wanted to come and show back because of the people they want Japan.
Oh, but you know, as accused at the embassies, it's not big.
At this point,
and you know, it's just the other thing too has to do with whether the embassies shouldn't do something about. You know, it's a two-way street. I mean, they cannot also, although they charge for the visa fees, you cannot also say that in anticipation of thousands of people, they should go and provide. Anyway, something must give. Must find a way. It looks quite. It's a bit humiliating. You know, I always, say it from when we are Laboni till now, because of where I live.
Yeah.
I normally use that.
Use that route, so you see them a lot. Anyway, let's.
You know, in the past, it used to be west at the British High Commission until they decided to use that VFS, the system. So you don't have to come to the High Commission any longer. Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, let's take a look at some of the comments coming in this morning about the show. As always, you can join the hashtag Good Morning Ghana on Twitter. Maxwell says that isn't it disgusting, disheartening that Italian Meloni is shouting that France should leave Francophone countries to develop. African civilization dictators are forcing these countries back to evil France. We must support Niger. They are being slaughtered economically by France. That is from Maxwell. Ben Digby says that ECOWAS, please stop the aggression. Sit at the table with our Francophone neighbors so we see how best to renegotiate uranium sales to both the East and West. Let's not kid ourselves. This is the crux of the matter. Thank you. That's from Ben Digby, who wrote on our handle there. And Maxwell probably says that Nana Akufo-Addo should be the last person to be talking against the coup d'etat, or to be talking about the coup d'etat in Niger, because those who did the coup d'etat did not spill blood in the 2020 elections as they did, and to secure second term. And Musa Abato says that Niger, Mali, Guinea have recently experienced coup d'etat. In Ghana, we are also experiencing economic coup d'etat. One of the core principles of democracy is economic freedom, but we are experiencing economic radicalism under Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Okay, so that is it. Those are some of the tweets that have come in this morning. And also you can join in with the hashtag Good Morning Ghana or GMG. You can tweet at Metro TV there. But let's talk about some good news for our footballing space. Ernest Nuama, that young chap, he's been trending because he, we understand, is moving to France to join Olympic Lyon. He is from Norgeland, and he's been in top form for Norgeland for the past seasons. And he's doing well. So that's like a big move coming in for Ernest Nuama, the dog. This young chap got a chance to play for the Black Stars recently, and he's going to Lyon. It's a big move for him. We wish him the very best in that, as we wait for Kudus and West.
With the right attitude, he will go very far.
Yeah. He's very, very good there. Anyway, okay, so we wish Ernest Nuama the very best. But I saw a video on Facebook. I know that when you do graduation, there's a way that you graduated, or the day, how it goes, everything. But I don't know, for Masons, I saw this video and I was actually shocked and surprised that, hey, this is where they graduate. So let's take a look at the video. It is the clap at the end for me. Anyway, so that video has also been trended. I didn't know that that's how Masons graduate. and they have to be, be hitting the palms like that. By the way the team do, everybody for find something do.
That's the main tool of the
athlete. Yeah, okay.
That and what is used to check the levels.
Yeah, the only thing. Anyway, look, I have a message for you from the man who got married. He's back.
Mr. Exclusive. Hey! That means the honeymoon was for like a month.
Like almost about the dog. Fire off. Oh, Bozu.
On fire.
No, he's looking very fresh.
Really?
Very fresh. Nice haircut, nice outfit.
Oh, I see.
And when he's walking, he's like this. He's showing the ring.
Oh.
Yeah. So by the time when you welcome back,
I feel your pain.
No, you know they pay me like that.
It's still a sample.
Is it?
It's still a sample.
No, I know the sample. No. But that's why if you Jennifer or Henry Kwesibedu.
Henry?
Yeah.
Okay, he's also getting married.
We they pray for him. See, he go soon do. Yeah.
After Annie.
And if I talk, she go threaten me for the bag there. So
okay. I had a dream.
A dream of her?
That she was. It was like towards the end of the year or early 2024. Yeah.
You also call your money, baby. I will be
She should shout, I receive. She has to scream, I receive.
I did scream it now. No, that's it for the trend today. I want to say big shouts to Mr. Charles inside Bethlehem, Adam's view of the show. If I come out, I did. Oh, they watch the show. So
that's all.
Oh, I mean, I got free drinks from him. Yeah. Oh no, but Doc, when are they? We are going to.
Oh, don't worry. Everybody chop for our website. Don't worry.
Anyway, that's it for the trust today.
Governor, they chop for our website. You too chop for our website.
He was. Governor, I heard about the disparity.
But they pay him, so you today they pay you.
Anyway.
Everybody they chop for our website.
Shouts to Mr. Martin though. Yeah, I got a message from him on Friday. He was watching the show. Yeah. Look, so that's it for the trust today.
I remember when I was like you. Anyway, so enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you on Friday.
Yes. Up next, Metro Sports.